Dear Diary, we've played a few games since picking up 2 straight 3-0 wins over Crusaders and Arbroath and have continued to play well for the most part. We just did enough to hold on 2-1 away at Ballymena United in the league prior to a 5-0 win over Ards in the League Cup. Then we were the better team away at Larne but didn't make it count, and because they missed the first penalty, they went on to win the shootout, because that's how football works. Everyone knows that. So we are out of the County Antrim Shield. That sucks. We won it last season, but it means we are still top of the league prior to a double to end the month against 3rd place Glenavon and bottom place Banbridge Town, my first club. Ah, the memories. I hope we smash them. Respectfully, of course. Until next time. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 25 of FMOE here on Shaun Does FM with Linfield. I hope you are doing well, and coming up today it's another double header. Both games today are going to be in the league. First up we take on Glenavon, currently 3rd on the table, away from home, and off the back of that it is Banbridge, our first club in the save, who do come here 2 wins apart. When you look at the league table, it's definitely a game that we should be winning, but we'll be interested to see what their lineup does look like these days. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But as the intro hopefully caught you guys up on our form since those 2 3-0 wins against Crusaders and Arbroath in yesterday's episode. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it in the top right corner. Has been pretty good. We were a little bit scratchy away against Ballymena United, despite the fact we did get 2 early goals. We just hung on there for a 2-1 win, helped out by the fact that they did get a late red card, and off the back of that we put out a rotated team against one of those clubs who did offer us a job interview at the start of the season in Ards. Thankfully we turned that down because they were towards the bottom of the championship last season. We beat them very comfortably by 5-0, and then a very frustrating 0-0 draw and loss away at Larne on penalties. You would have seen it through the intro. In terms of the stats from this game, we definitely played better, but unfortunately the game did go to penalties. As you can see, they were the first team to miss a penalty, and of course because of that, that did mean that they went on to win the shootout. The complete opposite of what is happening over at the World Cup at the moment, albeit the day I'm recording this is off the back of the first day of quarterfinals. So if something happened on the day where England play France and Morocco play Portugal, I didn't know it as of this time, but that's a bit unfortunate. It does mean we cannot defend our County Antrim Shield, but as you saw before, it does mean we are in quite a decent spot on top of the league table currently. Bit of a 3-horse race between us, Glentoran, and our first opposition in today's episode in Glenavon, but still just keeping a little bit of an eye out on Larne on 9 points, but they do have 3 games in hand, so could actually become a 4th team in that top of the table race if they do win those games in hand. But first up today, we do take on Glenavon. They've had a decent start to the season, sitting in 3rd on 19 points. Of course, there is Broody Gary Hamilton as their manager. Hopefully this time we can get the job done over him, because we have taken him on in the past, and I do believe he got the better of us ever so slightly. But they have had a decent start to the season, albeit if you go over and have a look at the season preview, they were only predicted to finish 4th, so a team who might end up dropping away a little bit, potentially like Crusaders have done off the back of us beating them in yesterday's episode, but certainly a team on early season form that we do need to respect. And that is especially the case because we do have a few suspensions and injuries to deal with for this first game of today's episode. As you can see in terms of our lineup for this one, Connor Pepper will start at right back, and also a little bit hesitantly, the big red machine, in terms of the big red card machine, Jake Kane, is going to start in the midfield. That is because both Cammy Palmer and Cammy Logan are suspended. Also, Jimmy Culliker has an injury, but that doesn't affect us quite so much. So because of that, it does mean those 2 players do come into the first team, and we've shuffled our bench up a little bit as well. So a few changes for this one against a decent team away from home, but hopefully we can pick up some points and try and stay on top of the table. And going into that Banbridge Town game, if we can do that, we should be able to solidify that spot when you do consider how Banbridge Town are going so far this season. But we'll come back shortly with the first game of today's episode from Moorview Park as we take on Glenavon. And it's taken us just past the 15-minute mark for our first highlight in this one. Noel Kim with a free kick puts it far post for O'Connor, but unfortunately that one hits the side netting, so a quiet start in this one. It is still 0-0. And only a few minutes before half-time, we do have the next highlight in this one. Today we are in the red and the black, being away from home. Should have mentioned that during the first highlight, but it does look like this highlight potentially could be in favour of Glenavon, although Campbell there with a little bit of a loose touch there on that right-hand side. It's a lovely ball there from Fallon, and Joel Cooper with an absolute rocket on the volley. What a goal that is to put us 1-0 up just shy of half-time as Glentoran grab an equaliser, which is a little bit unfortunate. It did look like this could end up being a decent match day for us in terms of other results, but what a hit that is from Joel Cooper just shy of half-time. We grab the lead here at Moorview Park, as well as that Kane has picked up a yellow card. We will get him to ease off tackles, and we'll probably deal with those players on yellow cards at halftime. But that is a heck of a goal to put us 1-0 up there right before the break. And overall, it has been a pretty quiet game, albeit looking at the stats, we certainly have been the better team so far. Glenavon with no shots on target. We got that one through Cooper, and that is the reason we do take a 1-0 lead into the sheds. I think we are going to take off both of those players on yellow cards, especially Kane, because we do know he does get a little bit of that red mist. So Matty Lunda's our bench backup in terms of the DM role without Cammy Palmer, so he will come on for Kane, and also Charlie Sayers for Noel Quinn. But fairly happy with how things stand here at halftime off the back of that very good strike from Joel Cooper. Will get things back underway with a 1-0 lead. And a few minutes into the second half, we have our first highlight here, starting off with a goal kick in our favour. Johns did try and pick out McDade up front there, but unfortunately the Glenavon defence were onto that. They try and play a long ball for themselves, but our defence onto that. Now Sayers does the exact same thing, so it's a little bit route one here to start off the second half as they try and get something going here down the left-hand side. Do Glenavon. Johnson here takes a little bit of time on the ball. We'll play this one back to Matthews, and it looks like he is lining up a big thump forward, but thankfully Lunda's there to win that one for us. And Cooper, in a bit of space, tries to take on another worldie, but that one straight into the path of the goalkeeper, and it is still 1-0 Linfield early in the second half. And up to the hour mark, we still hold our 1-0 lead in this one, but Connor Pepper has just picked up a yellow card based on the last few episodes. A little bit cautious about leaving players out there with yellow cards, mainly because of Kane, but because of that, we will take him off and give Mazida Gumbo a run at right back for the last half hour, still with that 1-0 lead. And 10 minutes off the back of that previous substitution, we are going to make our last couple in this game. Robbie McDade up front, not doing that well today, so Chris McKee can come on for him. Also, Ross McCausland will come on for Stephen Fallon, who has just picked up a yellow card. That's all of our subs used, and with 20 minutes left, we still hold a 1-0 lead. And eventually we do get another highlight in the second half. It is a corner which we try and float in there towards the far post, but Matthews is there to claim that for Glenavon. Hopefully we can just grab a cushion goal at some stage here to make sure that we do pick up all 3 points. Some good work there from Logue at the back to make sure that ball does not get in behind. So Glenavon do get a chance, and a nice ball here for McKee off of the bench, but that is a pretty good save there from Matthews to keep it at 1-0 Linfield with 5 minutes left. And shortly off the back of that previous highlight, and me just adjusting some things to try and start to time waste a little bit here to make sure that Glenavon do not pinch a point out of this game, there is another highlight. It did start with a clearance from the Glenavon goalkeeper, and now McKee will get a chance to steal it, but unfortunately, again, their goalkeeper does come up with a pretty big save, and that does mean it does remain 1-0 Linfield. And we've got a bit happening in the last few minutes of this game. It is a corner in our favour. We pick out Peldy O'Connor at the near post, and there is that cushion goal we have been looking for since that absolute stunner from Joel Cooper late in the first half. And thankfully this time, all it takes is a near post corner. O'Connor rises like a salmon and puts that one into the bottom right corner. And as we start to enter injury time, that should be enough for us to grab all 3 points here. Quite a nice win away at the team currently third on the table. There is one more highlight here as we have just started injury time and Glenavon are in possession, but thankfully Sayers there off the bench does some good work to get possession back for us. And now a Gumbo starts to make his way forward. We'll switch this out to the left-hand side where Cooper is. Lovely first touch there and starts to make his way inside the box. It's a penalty. Did look like the defender there might have actually won the ball, but nonetheless, here's a chance for us to absolutely make sure we are going to take home all 3 points. It is Stewart from the penalty spot. It is saved, but thankfully, I don't think that one is going to come back and cost us too much with only a few minutes left in this one. And as it turns out, everything off the back of where I last talked was absolutely not worth showing you guys, just an in-game highlight where not a lot happens. So it does turn out that that penalty that we did get late does not prove too costly, largely thanks to that goal just prior from a corner to Peldy O'Connor, as well, of course, as that great goal in the first half from Joel Cooper. What a strike that was. And we do not let Glenavon get a shot on target overall. It was a pretty dominant display, and we pick up a fairly comfortable 2-0 win in the end, even though it did take us until the 89-minute mark to grab that cushion goal. Unfortunately, Glentoran grabbed the goal in injury time that did see them pick up all 3 points against the Dungannon Swifts, because it did look like for a bit in that game that Dungannon might take some points off of Glentoran, but it does mean it's starting to turn into a bit of a gap now from us and Glentoran back to the rest of the pack, though obviously Larne do still have those games in hand, but did drop points away at Ballymena United. So their start to the domestic season continues to be a little bit up and down, but with that win, we do stay on top of the table going into our game against our former club in Banbridge Town. And popping back quickly prior to the second game of today's episode, where we are going to take on our former club in Banbridge Town. The reason for that is we have had a little bit of an injury crisis here at Linfield, so it does mean we have to update you guys on what our squad does look like going into this game. Both Kirk Miller and Charlie Sayers have picked up injuries, thankfully, to players not in our best 11, so it does not affect us too badly, but it is quite a serious injury, in particular to Charlie Sayers, a torn hamstring. He's going to be out for 6 weeks to 2 months, so it does mean we're a little bit lighter in terms of a backup left back for the next little while. It does mean that Keelan Reid will stay on the bench there as left back up the injury to Kirk Miller. Not as bad and doesn't really affect our bench balance quite as much, but for this upcoming game, Cammy Palmer is back, as is his fellow Cammy and Cammy Logan at right back. So we are back to a first choice, first 11 for this upcoming game against our former club, and all the players nice and fresh, as well as we do have a decent gap in between those games. And a quick look at our opposition. Obviously, it's a club we are very, very familiar with off the back of the first 2 seasons of this FMOE save. Unfortunately, they have been really, really struggling in the Premiership so far. Only 1 point from their first 9 games, and you'd like to think on recent form that will not change off the back of this game these days. Noel Curry is the man who took over from us there at Banbridge Town, and he is adopting a 5-2-1-2, so it is quite a negative looking formation. Hopefully we can break that down like it looks like most of the other teams in the division have, and try and make sure that we do stay top of the table. And we'll come back shortly with the action for the second game of today's episode as Linfield take on Banbridge Town. And it's taken us a little bit longer than expected for the first highlight in this game against Banbridge Town. It's around about the 16-minute mark, and a free kick here to Noel Quinney. Tries to put that one in the top right corner, but unfortunately that one does come off the crossbar, and still 0-0 here early doors, albeit not too long off the back of that. We do have a corner hunter there with a bit of an iffy save, and then a very good one off the subsequent effort from McDade. So Hunter is coming up with a good save there. As we can see, Ballymena United are currently beating Glentoran, so it looks like this could also be potentially a good match day for us as we have the ball yet again off the back of that corner, but unfortunately nothing doing here 20 minutes into this one, and Banbridge Town for now will hold on to this 0-0 scoreline. Now they have a throw-in inside the final third. McCulloch is on the ball. There's a few players in this team I'm not that familiar with. They've got players like Stephen McCavitt down on the bench, which is a little bit interesting. We try and play a long ball forward over the top there, but it is nowhere near McDade up front, and Dylan Snodden is going to be able to tidy that one up. They try and take that one down there in the midfield, but Chris Shields with some nice work. Lovely counter-attacking move, but unfortunately Cooper, his shot yet again gets saved from Hunter, who has started off this game quite nicely. And 20 minutes in, we are still locked up at 0-0. And just past the half hour mark, we have a next highlight in this game between the two clubs. We have managed so far in this save, and we do win the ball back there, play that back to Logue at centre back as we start to try and camp inside of Banbridge Town, who so far have put up some decent resistance at the back, but that is no longer the case. Great goal there from Jordan Stewart. Just let that ball run in behind him from Niall Quinn. It also made its way in behind the Banbridge Town defence, and this time Lewis Hunter cannot come up with a save. And finally, we do grab a 1-0 lead here against the team which are bottom of the Premiership, as we suspected. Does look like they are struggling in their first season up at this level, and hopefully now that might mean that the floodgates do open up just a little bit, albeit it is Banbridge Town here who are in possession. Seeing OG Gallagher was on the ball, but he gets double teamed there a little bit by some of our players, and now we have the ball through Logan right on the edge of the box. Fallon, block shot, Stewart, good save from Hunter, but gets the rebound and puts that one away in the bottom left corner, and just like that, it is a quick fire double, as we suspected might be the case. We grabbed that first goal, and now we grabbed a misery compiler there against Banbridge Town. A couple of blocked efforts there. Good save from Hunter yet again, but the rebound, unfortunately, falls straight into the feet of Stewart, and he grabs a quick fire double to put us 2-0 up. And right off the back of that, it might be Banbridge Town who get a chance here to grab a goal back. Some interesting results happening in the other matches on this game day as well. This could end up being quite a good day for us, but Banbridge Town so far unable to get on the attack from that restart, and Logue there takes some time on the ball. Niall Quinn will play that one over for Cooper, who is currently struggling a little bit out there on a 6.3, and we stay things here down our left-hand side, and Quinn will play that one all the way back to Johns in goal. He goes on a little bit of an adventure. O'Connor, if he went straight there, could have found a little bit of space, but we're going to try and get something going here down our right-hand side through Logan and through Fallon. Makes his way towards the edge of the box. It's a block ball into the mixer, but Shields will put that one in for Cooper, and he gets a lot of help there from both of the posts, but in the end that ball finds its way into the back of the net. He scores in back-to-back games off the back of that great goal he scored in the first half of that Glenavon clash, and that is a quick-fire treble from us to go from 0-0 to 3-0 up against our former club in Banbridge Town. And that is half-time here in our clash against the former club in Banbridge Town. As you can see, complete and utter domination stats-wise in that first half, and that quick-fire treble just past the half-hour mark does mean that we are 3-0 up here at half-time. I'm very happy with how this one is going. No changes needed as we get the second half underway. And just past the hour mark, no highlights so far in the second half. We are going to make a couple of substitutions at this time. It does look like no opposition instructions need to be changed. But while we are here, I think we'll change both of our centre-backs. O'Connor a little bit tired, and Logue just picked up a yellow card. So a Gumbo and Reed can come on for them. And also, Stephen Fallon looked a little bit tired as well. Ross McCausland can come on for him for this last half hour with that 3-0 lead. And we go forward to the 69-minute mark for our first highlight in this second half. And it is Banbridge Town here who do have the ball from a free kick. They try and play a ball in behind there for a striker. I did actually sign before we did make the jump over to Linfield, but Johns does deal with that. And we are going to get the ball back off of his long clearance. McCausland will play this one out to Kemi Logan. Nice ball in behind there for Stewart. Will square that one for Robbie McDade. It's a weak finish, but it is on target into that bottom left corner. Hunter cannot save that one, and we are romping away with this one against Banbridge Town. As you can see, Larne beating Glenavon. That could be a good result for us. As I said, the other results this match day look like they are going to actually go in our favour. This one will as well. We are 4-0 up. And just about to enter the last 10 minutes of this game, we're going to make our last few changes In this one, we will take off Niall Quinn and bring on Connor Pepper for him. That means that Cammy Logan can play left back, of course. With that injury to Charlie Sayers, might be a good idea to give him a rest. And also Chris Shields can get a rest as well. Matty Lund will come on for him with that 4-0 lead and 10 minutes left. And inside the last 5 minutes of this game is a free kick here to Banbridge Town. They try and put that one far post. We head that one away, and it might be a chance here for us to do something on the counter-attack as McCausland starts to really drive forward here inside of the Banbridge Town box. He will put this one in the mixer yet again for Robbie McDade, and just like that, it is a counter-attacking goal, as you would expect with this tactical style that we are using at Linfield, and now we are really piling the misery on Banbridge Town. 5-0 with only a few minutes left. Some great work there from McCausland to set that one up, and McDade will put it away. And that is full time in this clash against our former club in Banbridge Town, as expected based on league position, season preview, and pretty much everything that we know about these two clubs. We absolutely battered them, truth be told, probably a game we wouldn't have showed you guys if it wasn't the club that we did manage through the early stages of this save. But Banbridge Town continue to struggle up in the Premiership. I think it's safe to say we made a pretty good career choice in ditching those guys for Linfield based on that performance. But what I am interested in as well, off the back of that one, is some of the other results which did look like they were going to happen on this match day. And indeed it has been the case. Finally, Glentoran can't dig themselves out of an early hole. They suffer a 1-0 defeat against Ballymena United. Coleraine have beaten Crusaders, and as well as that, Larne just get the job done over Glenavon. That now means we have a 5-point gap on top of the table, a third of the way through the season. Obviously, Larne still have those 3 games in hand, but that does look like we're in quite a strong position at this early stage of the season. Hopefully, we can try and extend that gap through the remaining 2 rounds before we do enter the championship group, and maybe even grab a big enough lead to try and make sure that we don't have to worry about any of the games in that stage of the season, meaning too much. But it's been a pretty good start to life here at Linfield, as we are now 5 points clear on top of the table off the back of a 5-0 win against Banbridge Town. And back in the inbox off the back of those 2 games in today's episode, good wins against both Glenavon and Banbridge Town. And as you can see, apparently Linfield supporters are enjoying life here with me in charge of the club, which is very nice indeed. Hopefully we can continue to build up that lead in the Premiership, and also hopefully pick up a domestic cup of some description alongside that as well, and that would be a pretty good season, and would pretty much end our time here in Northern Ireland, I think, if we did manage to do that, because there wouldn't be much else to do apart from see what this Linfield team could potentially do in Europe next season. But we'll see if that is worthwhile hanging around for another transfer window, or if we should go and move somewhere else in the British Isles and Ireland for this FMOE save. But that will do it for today's episode. 2 good wins. If you enjoyed those, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. When we come back for tomorrow's episode, we are going to come back at some stage during November. And looking at the schedule, there's not too many games in November. We don't really care too much about the League Cup here at Linfield. That is because the board don't care. So the game that really stands out, especially with the table the way it is that Val Classico match as we take on Glentoran yet again. So I think we're going to come back for just that game in tomorrow's episode, and hopefully can extend our lead on top of the Premiership as well. So until then, for another Val Classico here at Linfield, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.